Hi, my name is Angelot, and I just wanted to go over kind of what I added to the switchterm project and maybe what I'm kind of testing out in the future. So one of the things I'll just show you and then I'll explain it. So yeah, you can generate a server. Just like so. Takes a little bit, but boom. Well, the first time it's a little bit slower, but anyways, you do go run that, and let's say you want to add a handler, and I think I showed you this before, but this plays into what I did add. So let's say a dog. You get to choose your route, kind of spits out what it did and what you have so far. And then, so if you go into the folder, then you have to go mod tidy, go mod render, and then go run. And if you go to it, you'll kind of see it created a page and it's got that text. I do gotta get rid of that though. But anyways, yeah, so it creates route, all that, which I had shown before. But you get out of this, go back and do generate, and if you do grid, let's say dog. So name of the grid, say dog. What's going to be the grid? Now this part, basically F is for full, H is for half, M is for basically if you want to just create a middle content, like two of them, and then it's out of 4 grid, but the middle 2. Anyways, and then quarters is for Q, and you basically pick the letters in whatever order, and that's what creates the grid. So what's, FH, full, half, and then middle. So we do that, and then we go back into it, and we run it. And we go back to the page. Oh, there's our grid. And so you could basically have this be updated and everything, and then you would go into the HTML and build your page or whatever. I didn't necessarily have it yet where you could just continually change it, because how would I know what HTML you added? I wouldn't, so you'd have to create a new page or whatever. Anywho, and this leads into something I'm going to talk about a little later, into some I'm testing to create components and everything, generate them. It's not as far as you might think, only because it took me forever. Anyways, so we have that, and the other thing that I made a little oopsie, I got rid of it inside, because it was originally inside the actual server that gets generated, which I don't know why I did. I think that was kind of dumb. Optimize your assets. I accidentally deleted it. And so now I pulled it out of the GenServe server that you generate, and I put it into the switch term. So you just run the command and boom, it does its thing. And while you're developing, you don't need your stuff all optimized, right? I mean, that's kind of, I don't know. Well, now you can run it if you're doing some weird test thing, I guess. So yeah, I brought that back into the project. I really don't know how I deleted that. I think because allowed you to make a binary out of it, and then I was like, well, why would you have a binary that can run commands? That's kind of stupid. Like, you just have this binary on the server that, like, if somebody hacks in, they can start running commands off of it. It's not a good idea. But anywho, so that's basically what I had worked on for the switch term. What I'm doing for the future, sorta, is doing components, or, well, it's as skeleton as it gets. It's not. It took me a bit to figure out, and what I'm talking about is this is kind of like a test folder thing, and basically it's just, the server here, just bare basic. It's not important. I have this, which runs the gowasm, and so I think you kind of can see where I'm going with this. I would just have another command that maybe auto runs it or whatever. Only thing is, I was having a little bit of trouble trying to get this to work with like air or wgo, mainly because you have to run it within that type of binary. I'll figure it out. Right now I just put it in the server that I run, and it's like one of the first things that gets run. Anywho, like I said, this is pretty skeleton. So what's kind of going on here? You have your gowasm binary thing. You have your view folder JS. Well, this actually isn't that useful. I might as well delete it. But anywho, you have the two files that you basically need for gowasm, and when you run this, it basically creates the gowasm or main.gowasm file, and then that gets imported into the HTML file. But right here, and then what I sort of did was begin the idea of making components. And what's important is this is basically the general aspect of a component, like a custom component. I left some links in there so that you could read up on that, but anywho, it creates the shadow DOM thing that's closed off, basically so that other CSS or JavaScript can't really affect it. There's a way, but chances are people aren't going to do it that way. Anywho, and this is a JavaScript file, and the reason why I made this was because you need to set the constructor and do the super function and all this stuff. And on the gowasm side, I just don't know how to create that constructor or super function on the gowasm side of the object or function, whatever you want to call it. Well, I guess class, sure. I know there's probably a way, there just has to be, but I wasn't able to figure it out. Anywho, this JavaScript thing that gets called into the gowasm side right here creates a component, a custom component. And so why would you want that, and why is that important? Well, all the frameworks basically use it. Here's the HTML that you would normally put on the HTML page, as you can see right here, and from there you get to set up this HTML component. And what is the HTML? It's just some that has extra properties. Instead of just creating a DOM element, it's a DOM element with properties. Anyways, here's a form one that I was kind of, testing out, sort of. And basically, you just add this in order for it to inject the HTML, kind of like the form one. Here's a function to create a form component. And so why set this up like this? It seems kind of like You're adding in JavaScript, you're doing Go, there's a compile step, there's, all this stuff. And yeah, normally I go the easiest, simplest route. And when I was trying to think about things and this is what kind of makes it hard. On the Go side, it's easy. And that was key that I didn't quite figure out till the very end. Anyways, I was trying to think of frameworks that, maybe would go along with this or that other people might like. I really don't want to upkeep a framework or frameworks because that's a whole enchilada because there's a build system. They change. They may not interact well. You gotta be required. There's just, it's a whole ball, and that's stuff that isn't even about getting it started. That's stuff that just comes along with it, and I just have a real problem with that. If I'm going to put something out, it might be wrong, or it might be insecure, or whatever, but the point is, make it easy on you, and that's what I care about the most. Why do all this build stuff and call different from two different languages? Is that really making things easier on you? Well, when I was thinking about the frameworks, I saw that lit one from Google. Well, I don't think it's directly from Google, but the Google people work on it or whatever. And that's cool because you could just call in the thing, but I felt as though it was really complicated. It's like a whole learning curve thing. And in essence, that's sort of what this is. But this is nothing compared to it, but it's the essence of what's going on. And why go down to that bare basic level? Well, because I want something to where I don't have to change it later. I want something that I don't feel as though I have to tug someone along in order to even think about using it. All that baggage stuff with frameworks. So this is something that you can do from the ground up. You can generate yourself. Well, you will be able to. I didn't put that in yet. This is all tested, but you understand kind of where I'm going with this, and that I'm calling in the Go some JavaScript, and it's not quite organized yet, obviously, but I want to be able to generate the code, and generating JavaScript or framework stuff, no, nobody's gonna care. And yes, indeed, I am doing a JS library. Yes, people are gonna see this and go, oh, and that's fine. But that's really what this is gonna be. It's just gonna be a file that you call in, and it's just gonna be names that you're gonna use, and that's it. You don't really have to think about it, hopefully. And supposedly gowasm is a bit quicker than doing normal JavaScript from some people who did benchmarks and everything, but that wasn't really my care per se. This isn't Go4JS or TinyGo where the binary is really small. I'll do that later when I get this built out and in the command and in the switch term and all that. That's something that is going to come later. What I wanted was you to use Go, be able to generate the Go, so that when you do have this, you can then tie it to these different, grids, I guess you could say. And maybe have it named A1, B, C, I don't know. However I'm going to do it, but you're going to be able to select them for each one and then just generate them. And as far as styling, that's something that the coder is going to do. It's just not something that I'm going to ask a bunch of that'd be kind of stupid to go into A1 and change it to black. It's kind of, I don't know. It's just some CSS. That's not. If you already know how to do this stuff, CSS just ain't gonna be a problem. But the major point is that you'll be able to generate these components, change what you want. The shadow DOM will keep them closed off, and then hopefully be able to maybe switch them out or generate multiple ones that have different properties. Just something so that you don't have to connect everything. And yes, there's going to be a JS library that I'm building out of it, but that just is what it is. Only because this part, I gotta figure it out. If I can figure this out in the gowasm part, then I don't need any of this stuff. But till that day comes. But yeah, that's generally what I'll be doing, and then you could just add in, or maybe I'll do it in pieces or something. I don't know. But yeah, so you could test out your gowasm stuff right then and there. You don't have to it's a test folder now. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna be kind of working on and doing and going toward. It's gonna take a lot longer, only because I gotta get it down. It does work, but oh yeah, I didn't really show you that, did I? Yeah, there it is, and it's pure that one JS lib and the gowasm. So it all works, and it's pretty easy. It's just, some people are gonna see this and be like, ooh, but you're gonna take this compared to a big framework that's gonna change anyways. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on, that's what I've been doing, that's why I've been doing it, and hopefully in the future I'll have a video and organizing this a little bit, and then eventually when I build a little library, which I'm kind of somewhat, I took some of this from online, to be honest, but I'm getting there with a little library of gowasm stuff, and you can use this or whatever, although I think it's pretty easy to find online. So yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know. Alright, thank you.